impossible, David? Is it impossible to love this market, to be bullish on this market?
It's not impossible. There's always something you can do. There's always something you can find out there. She makes some good points. I get it. We have rates that are pretty high. That's a challenge for large cap secular growth, and that's where a lot of the growth in the market has been. But there are things to do. One of the bright spots of the market right now is the fact that earnings estimates are finally moving higher, and this is the end of the earnings recession. This quarter, right now, on September 30th, that marks the end because earnings start to go up fourth quarter and beyond.
So you don't think then these higher earnings, particularly in the next 3 quarters, are they not factored into current prices?
Well, that's the tough part because stocks are a discounting mechanism, and a lot of it is discounted forward. So maybe we're going to have to, for a while, look outside our usual names of suspects to find some new names out there because obviously, some of these names are a little expensive, yes.
There's signs, though, every day there's some negative signs, right? Yeah, yesterday, for instance, right? Market breadth, new lows on the New York and NASDAQ were higher than new highs on the New York and NASDAQ for the 8th straight session. That's very, very rare. Now, I know all the sectors are higher, but you look at names above their 50-day moving average, if there's a dearth of them. Defense sector has been outperforming lately. There are little nuances out there that just maybe call them yellow flags,
Yeah, I get it. And we go through this. This is seasonally not a great time of the year. It's September. Everybody gets kind of a little nervous here. October, much the same. And then we look to November and December. But if I had to adjust my portfolio just on based out criteria, what's going to be the catalyst to get back in? Because nobody's going to tell me to do that. All those chief strategists out there, including yours truly, I'm not going to know when that exact time to do it. So you're going to have to pick your names, do your homework, and stay in this market.
So now that you're staying in the market, what are you buying? Like, what are you doing here to stay in this market?
Okay, so to her point, if you can't stomach buying large cap secular growth now, look at a name like Goldman Sachs. I thought the ARM IPO coming out this week, that's a sign that capital markets are starting to thaw. You're not paying up for these names. 1 times tangible book. I get it. These are legacy names with a lot of hair on them. The regulatory structure is increasingly hostile. I get that.
Talking about for not the IPO, you're talking about for Goldman.
No, for Goldman in general, the whole financial services complex. But you're going to see 35% growth this year, trading 9.5 times earnings. That's a place you can park some.
What happened to Goldman? I mean, before it was like the blue chip. It was the gold standard. No pun intended.
What happened to all of them? FinTech kind of ate their lunch.
But it feels like, though, that J.P. Morgan has eclipsed them, that maybe Morgan Stanley has eclipsed them in terms of influence, in terms of sway.
They lost their information edge. There was a time when Goldman knew everything first. That just is no longer the case. Everybody's got that info.
And you like Disney.
I do like Disney, and I've been in and out of this name a lot of times.
This is a stock trading at a 9-year low.
I get it.
It just looks like a rudderless ship. All their traditional businesses are in the toilet. They've got to do something with ESPN. I had a media analyst, one of the best media analysts on this, and she told me she thinks maybe, I posed the question, but she agreed that maybe society is different. Maybe our grandchildren just don't care about, the Snow White movies and the Fantasia movies.
I think all that's true.
And even the theme parks, the way that we looked at them.
I think all of that's true, but the tell for me happened yesterday. Yesterday, you saw them announce that they were going to cut the target on their subs. Stock went higher. Stock was actually up in the pre-market. I don't know where it is right now, but it was trading up even before I walked in here. They just had a disastrous negotiation over carriage fees with Charter. The end of the bubble. We all get that. But when stocks start going up on bad news, I have to take notice of that.
Maybe the 9-year low is the buy signal.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Real quick, you like Tesla as well?
Tesla's a different. That's obviously not a value play.
That's not a value play, and it feels to me more of a trading idea. I mean, as far as a long-term investor, which I know you to be, you wouldn't just put this on a shelf and have.
Well, if what Morgan Stanley is saying is true, this is a long-term idea because they're talking about custom silicon, not just going to NVIDIA for their AI technology, but designing it themselves. That could increase their margins dramatically. They're looking for a $500 billion enterprise value bump.
Right.
If I can just get a part of that.